I'm taking a new twist on my updates. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm not gonna worry about how I look. I need to preface that I have not read my Bible this morning. Usually is a squirrel crossing the road. I love nature, man. I found out this really cool fact. I need to look into it. I need to stop saying I found out this really cool fact, and before I actually look into it, my goodness gracious, it is literally the most beautiful morning in the history of my life. Okay. I'm so freaking tired. I've not gotten any sleep the last 4 days. Been in my bed the last 3 days, not doing anything. Where I'm getting at with this is I have not read my Bible this morning, so if I speak out of step, Lord have mercy on me. But I'm in an imposter syndrome phase of my life where I have gone through a lot, and I'm not ready to talk about it, but I'm ready to heal. And the two are not mutually exclusive, but the verbal and social part of life goes on after trauma passes. So I find it difficult to move forward in any identity sometimes because I don't know anybody with the exact, I don't know if I would need to know somebody with my exact backstory or something to understand life for what it is. But my own life truly baffles me so much that I don't yet know who I am, but I know who I'm not trying to be. And I know the direction I'm moving forward. But I'm very scared to speak. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my throat. I'm nervous to just talk and be myself. Because I am living my life completely different to what I would have probably a year ago. My mindset is different. My lifestyle isn't necessarily that different. I have a fairly healthy lifestyle. I just haven't had a healthy mindset. And I need to make changes to my physical lifestyle. So renaming this the Discipline Diaries. Based off of this YouTuber I used to watch. And I think she did the Glow Up Diaries. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like my experience in Gen Z has been perfectly captured by the evolution of vlogging and its contributions to society at large. And I think it's, from a historical perspective, one of the most interesting forms of journalism. If we really want to get that deep into it. And I do see myself as a documentarian of sorts. And I feel I've been misguided in the past and very immature. But I'm in my faith, I've learned to forgive myself and live and learn. So I'm if I get a chance at I don't know, a future and being an adult, what does that look like? as related to like carrying out my dreams. Like, what does that look like? I feel like I don't ask myself that question enough, so that I get very tunnel visioned and isolated, and it creates this very polarizing perspective between everything. And I don't want to live that way. Like, if I get a choice in some of this matter, I want to be happy. And my imposter syndrome has been like rearing its head and like making me not value my own life for what it is and what it has been, so I can admire what it can be, because of everything that's going on in the world. And I feel like I think my hopelessness about it sometimes can make me very cynical about things getting better. And there's so many different conflicts and so many different like disasters happening like concurrently. And I remember like as a kid learning about pen pals, learning about like from different perspectives, like from other countries, from like the prison perspective. I was a real nerd as a kid because I couldn't read, and then when I did learn how to read, I was like, I'm gonna be better at this than everybody. Which is like so me. Like, I don't know why I am that way, but I just want to be good at everything, which is funny because I really am just like a master of none. And I knew that would be my fate when I was a kid, and I tried to outrun it. I wonder if overthinking as a child is actually why my brain is the way it is, and not because of like ADHD or any of that. Anyways, if I can remember what I was gonna say. I remember reading like a lot of historical books and a lot of historical accounts, and always being interested in the perspective, because I was always very aware that my reality is happening at the same time as another person's reality, and the choice that they make has a direct impact on me. But sometimes people don't know that. People don't know that, like, they have a direct and indirect impact on other people. That we all do. And when you don't realize that and you take away your choice, there are instances in which you will take away my choice. And when people don't feel like they have a choice in their life, that's when positions of power abuse their perceived control. And I don't want to let my overthinking and anxiety hold me back from doing other things, because then I let myself think that they're real. I let myself think that bad thoughts are indicative of a bad reality when that's not the truth. And mistakes are not conclusive of character. And neither is life. Like, there's something so much bigger than every single person that has this like unconditional influence, not control, but influence on life. And when you take away your choice and you let the powers that be, which are really just like worldly powers, if I'm being specific, you let that take reign over your life. You don't leave room for the spiritual aspect and the God of the impossible. And when I let my fears, my bad thoughts, and my anxieties have any say over the life that I want to live and the life that God is telling me to live, then my faith isn't big enough for the God that is big enough for every problem. Like, I don't know how to put that. Like, I'm limiting his power. I'm limiting what he's capable of in my own mind, but at the end of the day, that's like something that I need to get past. And I feel like when society at large isn't being true to themselves and in turn their learning process, we miss these kinds of real conversations that allow us to progress past our fears and anxieties, because nobody can do it alone. And I have a deep respect for social media. And it's like, it feels like a double-edged sword, because it feels like a powers that be situation thing where this platform will never go away, but it is a method of communication which can be perverted, but it can also be glorified in the name of God. So today I'm at 12 minutes. Wow. Today I am walking for 40 minutes after waking up to get my brain going and to value the opportunity that God gave me to just get up, have working legs, have a working mouth, tell people about him, better myself. Like, I'm still in the game, so why am I not like playing? As in like a basketball way, not in like a simulation way. Another thing that's on my mind, because social media can be so easily used by the enemy, I feel bad for everybody, because we're all traumatized in one way or another, and that weaponizes communication for the enemy, because linguistics itself is a very interesting thing to study and understand. But if you just conceptually think about how linguistics and communication are separate from each other, I come to this understanding that we all have to find ways to evolve, not enhance, but evolve our ways of communicating to each other through linguistics, then I think the core issue of creating common grounds sociologically is actually finding what speaks to people and not how it speaks to people. Because I was talking to my dad about the electronegative principle or quality. I think it would be principle. I'm restarting all of my study of bio. But the electronegative quality of water, we were talking about how my aunt has low water pressure. So he poses the question, he's like, you're dirty with low water pressure. And I was like, I wonder how like scientifically accurate that is. So we were wondering, what about pressure is affecting the clean stage? Because you got the water's a constant. The electronegative state is a constant. The dirty nature is, what is it? Dependable. It's a dependent variable. So, you know what? I never took into account that I should research if, like, body odor is positively charged. Because if it isn't, then this whole thing makes no sense. This is where I'm getting with it. Sort of like, let's say this dirty person is positively charged, right? We're like, is it the quality or the quantity of the water? Would higher pressure water make an individual less? Hold on, I gotta take a picture of that. That's so cool. Would higher pressure water make an individual less dirty because the pressure is related to the volume of the water, and super simplified, there is a higher quantity of it, therefore there's more electronegativity. That's the line of thinking we were on. And Google said no, the pressure does not affect like the cleanliness of the person, or it doesn't increase the electronegative charge. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because the electronegativity is a constant. Water is a constant. Kind of like how God is a constant. Jesus is a constant. So when that water comes out of the spout and it hits your body, it will say that like the dirty part is positively charged. It will clean the person in the areas that the electronegativity is directed. But if there's just a higher quantity of this water, there's more of it, it's going more places, the person is going to be more clean, not because of the higher quantity of well, not because of the quantity itself or the electronegativity itself, but the fact that there is more electronegativity to distribute by the quantity of water molecules. and in the broad metaphor of God. We cannot idolize people because the Holy Spirit is the constant, and so is Jesus, and so is God. And someone's faith is dependent on the quality. No, it's not based on the quality, because the quality, here it is. I'm making this up as I go. The quality is the constant. You're saved, you're redeemed. I just saw a red squirrel. I love red squirrels. You're redeemed, but it's the quantity of time that you spend with God, genuinely relying on Him, that is going to cleanse the different areas of your life. Like your first year of walking with God is gonna look complete. My goodness, these squirrels are so beautiful. Hi, little chipmunk. You look like a little gopher. Okay, bye. Your first year of walking with God. Look at this. Isn't He amazing? Your first year of walking with God is going to look a little different than your second year, and your third year, and your fourth year. And this is something for me to remember, because I didn't really grow up with this. I did, in the sense that my grandma was Catholic, I believe. So, and I eventually asked to be put in Sunday school class, but I always really clashed with the culture. And I've always really clashed with the cultures present in society as well, because I don't think that they're representative of the entire human experience. And I feel like they push us into these individualized complexes. And here's another big concept thinking thing as I continue. I feel like culture is community-minded family style, and society is individualistic-minded family style. And it creates this disruption in the self. And walk with me. I watched this TikTok a couple days ago, and this girl who I think she was famous. She was dating this other famous TikToker, and she was saying how community-minded family style, children that grow up and try to create a sense of self, actually have a really hard time with this because everyone's supposed to appear connected. The morning doves are passing. And there's Bunny. Hi. So in the community, there's the expectation that you're supposed to be performatively connected. Think, from my perspective, Latino family barbecues, birthday parties, everyone's dressing up in the same colors, we're spending so much money on this and that, and it's all so that when the aunts and the uncles want to start talking shit, they can't they can't gossip about anything you did because you did it to the nines. And it's kind of expected on the individual to, you're a big guy, there's a squirrel. It's kind of expected on the individual to maintain this hierarchical positioning throughout their identity, where they're always trying to make sure that they're basically performing at their best for any time anybody can see them down, because in the communal style family living, community style, everyone's taken like this oath basically to quote unquote support each other until death. But it's really just an excuse to treat people however you want with no real consequences. Because in the Latino family, if you decide to take a step away or create any kind of boundaries, and the girl talks about this in the video, not in Latino families, but in community style, she's like, you'll actually face like pushback because you're not trying to be like everybody else. And there's like a cognitive dissonance that happens between you and your family because they've been acting like this for so long that they don't see anything wrong with it. And they don't actually like respect you enough as a younger person to take your perspective or hear your corrections, because they don't actually want to take accountability because they've been traumatized by their family dynamics over and over and over again, that if they were to take accountability, everybody would have to take accountability. And literally the community as you know it would cease because alliances would fall apart and real relationships would be the only thing to thrive. And real in the sense that they're honest, they're communicative over gossip centered, and that's why you see so many like kids that are like the black sheeps of their family. Meanwhile, the family can be doing this like huge reunion or like have these get-togethers, these family weekends, like whatever, and there's just one person who doesn't seem to come around. And I guarantee you, everybody that is still present in the group has one thing to say about the person that doesn't come around. And it's weird. Like, you get isolated for trying to help people grow past what they understand. And they take it as an offense because nobody else has ever stepped up like that in their lives. If they did, that family style wouldn't exist. So, if you take that in the context of culture and how our different like racial and ethnographic groups expect us to act based on the demographic that we're in, like an African American has a completely different experience to blackness than someone in the UK who immigrated or even was born there, like as a first generation United citizen. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but you like illustrates my point enough. I'm just using that as like an example. They have two different experiences, and I've realized that my experience as a dual citizen, growing up in a primarily white town in white culture, and then living in a primarily Latin town in a diverse culture the last couple years, my experience of life has changed dramatically. And I haven't necessarily thought of things in a completely like radically new way. I've just been around people who had similar trauma in their lives now. Like, whereas before I was kind of in like a new realm. Like, I didn't know that I was wearing like the identity of the half white, half Latin kid until like now that I'm like 21. I was just kind of like growing up, but other people were othering me. It like, I think that's like the societal thing where everybody grows up in different cultures, but then based on the economy that you're supposed to thrive in, everyone then has to come up with like their prime psychological condition to survive and withstand the present reality. What? I'm still on my walk. I have 10 minutes left. So when you don't like, that's why I feel like college is such like a weird experience, because everybody goes into it with their like own preconceived notions based off of the culture and society that they were raised up in. And conflict occurs because our perceptions will not always be a definite truth. And we're so like mind boggled and shattered when other people can and do move into and in ways that we never fathomed for them, because it's a total ego reality check to realize that what you think about people has, like, it literally, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. And if people were to accept that, then they would have to accept that what other people think about you doesn't matter. And these two concepts, as easy as they sound, they're literally a double-edged sword for every single thing in the world. Like, it's hard to describe. Because if people accepted those things to be true, they wouldn't make fun of other people, but then they wouldn't care about what other people think about them. They wouldn't be insecure, they wouldn't be anxious, they wouldn't be fearful. But also, if things were this easy to like think about a concept and then apply it and not comb through our personal experiences in order to like marinate on it and actually like digest it, we wouldn't have illness. But freaking life and trauma is so sticky that like depression is a thing, anxiety is a thing, OCD is a thing, PTSD is a thing, psychosis is a thing, bipolar disorder is a thing, schizophrenia is a thing. And there is literally no way out to see, know, feel, hear, believe in the truth without accepting Jesus. And I know this from first-hand account. I would have never been able to string together everything that I've like experienced and come out okay on the other end without him, because I was not fed any ideas or concepts that had my complete and utmost good nature at like the forefront. Like, there's nobody who wants the best for you more than Jesus. There's nobody who can protect you. There's nobody who can give you the wisdom, the love, the peace, the joy, the protection. I don't know if I said that, other than him. And I guess until you find the way, the truth, the life, you can't begin to wrestle with how to not move in spite of, because we're changing our mindsets, but to move at war with. To every single step of our day, know and love and feel the Lord, and therefore be at war with the enemy. Because is my 40-minute walk this morning, instead of running, not an act against him? Because I could have woken up at 4:30 this morning for the millionth day in a row and decided to do absolutely nothing with it. And if my God is the God of the impossible, and he is not one of coincidences, why after 3 days sitting in bed would I be able to talk to a camera for 36 minutes when I intend to go on a 40-minute walk? How everything that I'm saying is like a stream of consciousness. I guarantee the second I turn this camera off, I'm going to forget everything. Because that's what happens with God. He puts these messages on our heart. And he wants us to talk, but we can't fully see the picture. We can't fully see how he's using us because we are not him. It says that so many times in the Bible. We are not him. We will never have his power. And I read this quote yesterday. It's like, God's weakness is stronger than our greatest strength. And if I know the miracles he's done in my life, and I know that he has blessed me with an audience before, and that I truly had abandoned the life of social media because I wanted nothing to do with it in vain, I think he wants me to just be my la-di-da self on camera. I think he wants me to just show another authentic perspective of following Christ and listening to him and spreading the word about him. I'm not exactly spreading the word right now. I could get on my phone and I could do Bible studies too, but I'm in my word at the moment. I don't feel authorized to speak on the word. Not that I can't. I keep seeing these bluebirds and they're like indigo. And that one was cayenne. Crazy. But this doesn't mean I can't speak on the word. I needed to talk about him. I needed the restlessness out of my system, per se. I love that, man. I love that. Wait, look at that. Tie-dye. But I needed to get up and move for me. So as I better my life, I want to help better other people's lives. And if I can do that, if I can keep myself accountable to walk and move by talking, as the chatty Cathy I am, it sounds like a no-brainer. I should be running, but on this morning I'm walking. I'm always walking with the Lord, but this morning I'm walking. And it's Sunday. Happy Lord's Day. Every day is the Lord's Day, but happy Lord's Day. My 40-minute walk is about to conclude, and this has been the quickest and best use of my time since waking up. Can't wait to go finish my coffee. God bless you all.